And we are live. Hello, everybody. Yay! Welcome to the AWS reInvent recap V Brown Bag episode, which was going to have just the V Brown Bag gang. And then Andrew Brown said, hey, can I play? And we said, yes, you can play with us. And so we brought out our entire bag of toys to play. This is going to be a conversation about reInvent, who went, who didn't go, what we learned, thoughts from the keynotes, excitement, all of the things. So first things first, get in on the conversation. If you are in the live studio audience and you have questions for us about all of the shenanigans that we got up to for the past week, hi, Mom, then we will have conversations about that. And with us in the my name is, hey, everybody, I'm Chris Williams, AWS hero and developer advocate for HashiCorp. Shala, who are you? What's going on? How you been? I missed you. I saw you. I saw you all last week.
Yeah, for like what, 5 seconds.
Right, just running past each other. Like every day was like, oh, there she is. Okay, bye.
No, I'm good. So yes, I am Shala. Many may know me as Gifted Lane. I do have Invisaligns now because I took my wisdom teeth out, and so teeth started a moving, and I was like, I don't like that. So basically, my wisdom teeth must have been my built-in retainer. So
yeah,
fun stuff. So if I have a list going on, I'm not drunk or anything like that. I just have Invisalign on it.
That sounds exactly what a drunk person would say.
Yeah.
I swear it's not the bourbon. It's this Invisalign officer.
That's the excuse I'm going to go with next time.
Yeah.
Why are you driving on the wrong side of the road? Invisalign officer.
Yep. I can't walk in a straight line with or without Invisalign. So,
Damien, how are you doing?
I am excellent. Thank you. My name is Damien Carlson. I'm 6 Foot Dad on the place that I will always call Twitter, and also a longer version of my 6 Foot Dad handle on Blue Sky. But I've been good. It's been a very busy week for me. I think here in the U.S., that is an extreme close up of
Andrew. What the hell are you doing? We'll get to you in a second. Calm down. Relax.
I feel like that's a Mike Myers Wayne's World extreme close up thing.
So impatient. Goodness.
Anyone was born in the 70s like I was. Anyways, yeah, here in the U.S. we had our Thanksgiving late in November, and I feel like the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas is very compressed, and so it's been a lot to get through, I think, for me personally, and just trying to get into the whole holiday mood and doing all those things. But we have successfully put up lights. We have a tree. It's been decorated. The star has kind of fallen off a little bit on the top of the tree, but I think it's fine because I don't want to get back on a ladder. But yeah, nice. I'm doing well. Thank you.
All right. And last, but certainly not least, since he's being so impatient, Mr. Brown, how are you doing? What have you been up to since the last we spoke?
So you're talking about Mike Myers. My wife loves Mike Myers. And today we were listening to a song called One Night in Bangkok, which is based on I think it's like a chess musical that takes place in Bangkok. And the person that sings in it, they sound just like Mike Myers, which is interesting because I think in one of his recent movies, he used that song there. And I think maybe because he knows that it sounds like him.
You mean the one where it makes a hard man humble? Something One Night in Bangkok. That song?
Mm-hmm. Well, it has chess in the song, right?
That's an old song.
I don't know. I just know it from Mike Myers, and it sounds like Mike Myers, and it's interesting to me. But and chess is also very interesting, but I'm terrible at it. But yeah, I'm doing great, and I'm ready to do a recap every year. I say I'm never going to do one, and I always do one. So let's jump into it.
As you get drug into it, kicking and screaming, which isn't even true because you volunteered for this. Cool. Okay, so let me switch our heads around. Can I do this right? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
We did it.
Nice and personal. So, how are we going to do this? We're going to go round robin. We want to talk about the keynotes. We want to talk about the evening shenanigans. We want to talk about the community. I mean, we have we have so many different angles. Shala is a community builder. Andrew, you and I are both heroes. So we kind of get like a different feel and a different vibe from it. Damien, did you watch any of the things remotely? You didn't attend live, but were you as fascinated with it as we were?
Oh, indeed. I did not watch any of the keynotes. I did watch only your session, Chris, that you presented with the other Chris Williams and a third presenter, and I don't remember her name, and I apologize for that.
Julie Gunderson.
Yes, that's the only session I watched. I think I actually need to go back and maybe watch Linda Ahmed's session, friend of the podcast from a week or two ago when we had her on. The Juggler, if you all remember, and Chris Williams' very unfamily comments.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just going to blame you. But no, yeah, I mean, it's Chris.
It wasn't me. It was Damien. I said nothing that was not safe for work.
See, you can tell us apart because our beards have different lengths. So yes,
under the bus like that. Holy mackerel! I even wore my old reInvent hoodie for this.
That's awesome. So yeah, I did not watch any of the keynotes. I did see a tremendous amount of skeets, is what they're called in Blue Sky. I don't really like that term. Yikes. I like tweets, but yeah.
I have seen that, and I'm just like, stop.
Yeah, I've been around long enough to know, like, I don't want to call it that. I saw a lot of posts about AI. I saw the inimitable Corey Quinn roasting the keynotes, which is always a good time.
That's always super fun.
But yeah, I didn't attend. And in fact, I've never attended reInvent. They sound overwhelming and exhausting and all the other adjectives. So
you're absolutely not wrong. Let's start with Brian's. Brian immediately came up with a question: how do you handle the physical toll of a week-long conference with night activities constantly, and for larger travels you may keep? It all sounds you all sound suspiciously healthy. Oh, wait a minute. Is he taking the piss? He is. Hey, Brian. Brian Chasko is a friend of the show and a friend of mine. But actually, let's talk about that. The physical toll of reInvent. I personally was up at 6 a.m. every morning because the hero program allows you to get into the keynotes ahead of time. So we get like hero seating in there. So we have to be showered, fed, and ready by 7:30 to like stand in line for the keynotes. And you're not in bed until midnight if you're lucky, because you've got sessions all day long. You've got the things in the afternoon. Maybe you get up to your room to take a nap, but I didn't because I had to record videos for V Brown Bag, and then there's all of the after things, the dinners, the deal making, the networking, and everything else that happens up until 12 at night. So, Damien, you are absolutely correct. It is exhausting.
Yes, yeah, I would say, even though Brian may have been gently teasing, I would say getting your sleep, drinking water, moisturizing. Do not try to outdrink Vegas. That house very specifically will always win. Yeah. I've been to enough conferences in Vegas to know it can be brutal. Biggest
Shala,
tips,
Andrew,
don't shake hands.
Shala, Andrew, did you guys have the same experience as me, up at 6 in bed by midnight, or were you more gentle on yourselves?
So I was still also doing work things. So I was Pacific time at 4:30 a.m. a lot of days, like banging out code, talking to the team, and then eating, and then making my way to reInvent, and then rolling back to the room about like 2 a.m. One night was 3 a.m. because I was at the blackjack table, but whatever.
You're a machine. Holy crap. That would kill me. That would kill a lesser human. Andrew,
and my parents were there, and they were like up with us that late.
Were they really?
That's fun.
Yeah.
Wow. I should have hung out. I'm glad I didn't hang out with you guys now. That would have killed me. I'd be dead. Holy crap.
Was it just your parents, Shala, or was your granny there too?
Oh, no, grandma could not. No. So it was
Oh man,
parents, and my husband. My husband was there. So yeah.
I was gonna say I want to do shots with Granny.
She
Let's do it.
will knock off like some wine, okay?
Nothing like
Wow.
getting drunk with an older generation of folks, man. It's a good time.
It is. You hear
Learning a
lots
lot
of
of
stories.
things.
So
Yeah.
Brian got full on laryngitis, and he's in recovery mode right now. That stinks.
Mm.
Oh no.
I actually got rocked by KubeCon though. So when I was at KubeCon 2 weeks ago, got really, really sick. And then the doctors put me on antibiotics because I had pneumonia. And I talked to them and I asked them, hey, one, will I be non-communicable? I don't want to spread it. Will I be safe to travel? And will I be able to make my talk on Monday? And they're like, if you stick with the antibiotics and you don't like drop off, you should be fine. And I was. But I think that like the tail end of the antibiotics carried me through reInvent, and I didn't catch the thing that everybody else got while they were there too.
Mm.
So that was helpful. Andrew, what about you? How was your experience this year?
Double Tylenol, double Advil every day. But I'm just going to bed on time, right? So I'm just getting there. I'm
Well,
getting
what's
old
on time
and
for you?
on time. Well, I mean, like I wake up at 6 a.m. like Eastern time, and then I go to bed at like 11. So whatever the shift was, that's what I was doing. If I stay up later, I'm still waking up at 6 a.m. Eastern, which is who knows what it is, Las Vegas time, but yeah, I mean, I made it through it. I left there with a gray streak now on the right side of my hair, but the wife says it looks good, so it's okay.
You got a gray streak as a result of Vegas. Just 1 week in Vegas, and you got a gray streak. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get into announcements. Is there anything that was like super impressive that somebody was? I mean, let's be honest. This is 2024. I was reading one of the articles where Corey Quinn was actually talking about how, remember in 2014 we had S3, Aurora, and Lambda all announced on the same thing, and as now that AWS is more mature, we're not going to get like 3 massive heavy hitters like that, in a row. But was there anything that spoke to you or called out to you? And I'll go with Charlotte first. Popcorn. Let's do this.
This might not quite answer your question, but the first thing that is popping out to my mind right now, because y'all know me, I love DevOps. I found that, of course, AI is like that big, shiny new thing. And so anyone who's gone to reInvent, all of my DevOps stuff that I cared about was way at Mandalay Bay. And
Did you spend a lot of time there?
Yeah, because that's where a lot of the DevOps type stuff was for me versus at the Venetian. Venetian was heavy AI, which is exciting.
Well, I mean, but from a DevOps perspective, I would think that the queue enhancements would be something that would be interesting to you. Was that something that you like? I mean, I don't want to turn this into let's review all of AWS's generative AI announcements. In fact, I was actually thinking about saying, hey, let's talk about everything but Gen AI because Amazon beat it to death for a week. But I do want to give credit where credit is due. I do think that some of the cool stuff that happened with Q, I incorporated that into our talk. Using Q to help fix alerting for a Terraform main TF. What do you think?
So for me, those are the kind of things that make me happy because I'm forever all day long cranking out Terraform configurations and, seeing if it's going to compile and run or if I'm going to get an error or if it's not going to do exactly what I thought it was going to do. So I'm looking forward to how I can incorporate that into my day-to-day and see how I can, make things better. Because I have been messing around with Copilot a little bit. That's nice. Y'all know I'm like a huge fan of ChatGPT and stuff like that. But
I'm looking you were
forward.
One of the early adopters. You've been using it since way before any of us.
Yeah.
What about you, Andrew? Anything that was especially interesting to you that you're going to dig into now?
Well, I think one of the biggest changes that is going to really make huge waves is the fact that they renamed Amazon SageMaker to Amazon SageMaker AI. That's a huge game changer. My favorite announcement, it might have been pre-reInvent, but it was web apps for AWS Transfer Family. Because I cover all of AWS, the things that I care about the most are probably what nobody cares about because they're not using these services and having to go through the turmoil of pain to teach it just in case, I have to cover it on the exam. But having web apps in AWS Transfer Family makes that service actually deliver on what it's supposed to do, which is to make it really easy to do like SFTP and things like that. A lot of people still got PHP websites and they love to do that. There was, I think it was like AWS Education announced like a lot of money in terms of like helping out the community. And it's AI driven, but it's like equity AI stuff. So they're investing a lot of money there. I guess the Nova models are like, they impact me just because I've done a lot of content on Titan, and so I'm curious to see how they perform. I already started playing with them.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, right away. Yeah, absolutely right away.
Have you noticed anything different or outstanding about the Nova models?
Well, I mean, when we talk about Titan Express and Titan, what was it, Premium or whatever they called it, they were very far behind, and so these models are leaps and bounds from where the previous one is. But until I get into an agentic workflow, I'm not really sure how it's going to perform, and that's the challenge with these things. You see new models every single day, right? But unless you put them into a real workload, it's really hard to tell whether they're going to be good. But cost wise and feature set wise, it was great. I love how there's so much more stuff in Amazon Bedrock. Like for instance, we have IBM Granite in there, and they allow you to pull more things from the marketplace. So a lot more models. I mean, but Azure AI Foundry has that stuff now, and Model Garden for Google has it. So it's more just AWS keeping parity with these other providers.
I hope now that they've come out with Nova, that they're not going to be, I mean, now that they've kind of reached parity with everybody else in terms of foundational models, they're going to kind of like ease up on the gas of just beating everybody over the head with AI constantly. Of like maybe they'll take a beat, maybe not, who knows. But I was happy to see that they've now that they've gotten to Nova, they're like, okay, we're at pace with everybody else now. Now everybody can just like proceed. It seemed like for a while there they were really over rotating on that. I did like the fact that they had, what did they call it? I forget the name of it. Hold on. Amazon Bedrock Intelligent Prompt Routing. Back when during pre-invent, I did a thing with Pluralsight with Faye Ellis and Keisha Williams, and we we're talking about our reInvent predictions and what we would like to see. And one of the things that I was complaining about was the fact that when you're using Bedrock for something, you basically have to just like go down the list of models and pick things until you find one that actually works for you. But you're not really understanding the ramifications of how much it's going to cost until you actually start until the bill starts ticking up. And the theory behind, and what I said at the time was, I wish that there was a way for you to put a prompt in and then have Amazon help you decide, okay, what's going to be the best thing for this kind of prompt to give you the best bang for the buck, but also, keep it cheaper so that you're not using, a bazillion parameter model when you're just trying to ask for 2 + 2. And so allegedly, and I haven't played with it yet, but Bedrock Intelligent Prompt Routing is going to do that. Within a model family, it'll pick within the family, it'll pick the model type that answers your question best and cheaper than over rotating. So that seems pretty cool.
That almost sounds like a model marketplace concept that that's out there where you can kind of look at the different models based on the use case that you have and then kind of filter it down from there. But in this case, is it only within that family of models? Yeah,
it's so if you pick Nova, then it'll find the right foundational model within Nova. If you pick Anthropic, it'll use the Anthropic models. It's not going to shop it around interfamily yet. Maybe that'll come down the pipe too. We'll see.
Did you want to quickly see it? Because I do have it pulled up.
Oh yeah, you already have a demo? course you do.
Yeah, I already have a demo. I've already been using it. So I mean, again, this is AWS trying to keep parity with Azure AI. Azure AI Foundry's prompt flow thing, but it's not really complicated. Like I'll show you. It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah,
to
throw it
learn.
up.
We won't spend too much time doing demos here, but I'm going to pull up screen number this one. Okay, and so here I am in Amazon Bedrock, and so we're talking about prompt routers here on the left-hand side, and so we have 2 families that are accessible to me. There could be more, as sometimes they vary based on region, but I don't think so, unless I don't have something enabled in Model Access. Before you utilize these, make sure you go down to the ground, enable your model. It says that there's 5 new ones, but I have them all enabled. We got Meta and Anthropic. So we'll make our way over to Anthropic, and so in here, we're going to see a playground interface, right? And we can start working with it here. Okay. And so let's say we want to do something, and we're going to ask it something very basic, like how old do you have to be to drink in Vegas, right? Okay. And so we'll go ahead and run that. I'm going to just bump up the font here a little bit if people want a larger size. And so that's going to generate something out. And the idea is that when you're doing that, it's deciding where it should go. And if you hover here on the right-hand side, it's going to show you this went to 3.5 sonnet, right? If we ask something more basic, like finish this sentence, the banana is, okay. And let's see if it tries to choose a different one. So here we have more information. And this one is going to haiku. So you see how it's trying to route based on the best use case, but again, it's limited in terms of its family. And I imagine there's probably an API endpoint. I haven't looked at the coding component of it yet, but it's probably going to be under Bedrock. I would think it'd be under agents, but maybe it's under the Bedrock runtime. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's about it.
And not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but is this some of the things that you're going to be going through in your generative AI bootcamp next month?
It's really hard to say. Like, there's just so much going on. There's so much tooling out there. I'm just going to build what I know how to build, and I'm going to encourage folks to try to use whatever they want. And I'm going to support them the best I can, because it's like you can splice it 100 ways. I find like most of the solutions out there don't require complex things. So you really have to build something and justify it, right? And so I haven't seen justification for prompt routing, but it might be because I know the model's good enough, or if you know what your use case is, right? Like, what kind of user is going to be using this thing, then you don't necessarily need to route them to other things. But yeah, it's hard to say.
Oh, Damien, are you talking? You are muted, good sir.
Yes. I muted so you all wouldn't hear me cough. Been getting over a little bit of a cold. What I was going to say, Andrew, is since it's top of mind, we literally just mentioned it. Where can folks find out more about this Gen AI bootcamp that you speak of?
The best way to find the Gen AI bootcamp is at genai.cloudprojectbootcamp.com, or you can follow me on Pinterest, and one of my pins will have it. But no, probably genai.cloudprojectbootcamp.com is the best, or on LinkedIn, where I'm constantly, almost every day, trying to get it in front of people's eyes.
Can they really follow you on Pinterest?
Yep. You can see my what my dream house would look like. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say follow me on Pinterest, but maybe that's just not the kind of folks I typically associate with.
I mean, I just feel like, I don't know, I just like building mood boards and sharing my mood boards with other folks.
No, I'm not knocking it. I was just like, wow, I've never heard follow me on Pinterest before.
or you can follow me on Ravelry, which is a knitting community, or I'm on a few other places. Choose your poison.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like using Pinterest. It's my way to share with everyone, like, books I'm reading, tutorials I'm using, stuff like that, and that's been really helpful, because it's like for me, it's a visual bookmarking system.
Yeah, it's like Instagram, but I don't like Instagram because I feel like I have to post myself, and I'd rather just post things. And that's where Pinterest is a better community for that, where you're sharing things. Yeah.
You can also follow Andrew on CanadianBurleyLumberjacks.com as well. Just saying.
I'm still bulking up, but just it's going to take a lot of bear sausages to get me to adequate size, but
I think he's Mr. January. I can't remember. He's in the calendar somewhere. All right.
So on the topic of Amazon announcements, I'm actually looking at their top announcements page.
Mhm.
And AI announcements, just like the list of AI related announcements, is far bigger than almost everything else put together.
Yep.
Really kind of shows where their focus is. Sadly, there were no Lambda announcements that made it to the top, which would have been of interest for me because serverless is a fascinating thing to me. But there's a whole lot of AI. Holy crap.
Does anybody want to say anything about DSQL, the new distributed Aurora?
That's supposed to be the, I think, Planet Scale competitor.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Planet Scale used to be like originally a serverless offering, but then they went to a managed service. So I guess it's something. Maybe it's supposed to be competitive with maybe Google Cloud Spanner, but I thought Google Cloud Spanner was more competitive with Aurora's offering. So I don't know. I guess the point is that you can use it anywhere. Does it scale down to zero? Is that what its big offering is? So it actually is a real service that scales to zero.
I'm going to say yes. Now that I'm asking it. I was in a car on the way to Corey Quinn's party, and Alex Debris and AJ Stuyvesant got into a very heated discussion about DSQL. They want to call it DSQL. That's the word that they want to use for it. DSQL. The answer is yes. It supports scaling to 0 ACUs.
Yeah, so it's like it's the actual promise of a serverless database where Aurora Serverless never was. It was like that newfangled bastardization of serverless, and this one is truly closer to a serverless one. So I probably wouldn't compare it to. I mean, people would compare it to Planet Scale, but there's another one. Oh, was it Neon? Is that the one that is Postgres? Does that one scale to zero? That's a good offering though. It's a Postgres. I think it's distributed Postgres. But this is probably more similar to Cloud Spanner, Google Cloud Spanner. But yeah, if it does what it says it does on the tin, then it could be really, really good.
Right. What else? What other things were of interest to the folks?
So I'm gonna go way off the path. That's just me being me. So some things I'm excited about. Okay, I'll do one AI. With SageMaker. I am excited at looking at how to incorporate that into things like CloudWatch logs, because I'm forever fighting with it and trying to see how I can use that to, be more predictive, with solving incidents, popping them into incident manager, stuff like that. I want to spend some time getting really fun and creative with that. So there's my AI. But things that I am excited about that I think is so far down the list for most probably, and I've already started to try working them into my work life. S3 tables.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. So I'm already playing around with that and trying to get that going. I don't know if this one was announced at AWS, but there's two things. How are y'all feeling about the new UI? It's growing on me. It's growing on me.
Are we talking about Cloudscape, the new user management console, where it's being featured?
Yes.
Did you see my very successful meme on it where
I did not. I missed it.
Oh, it was good. I was because they were saying the marketing was like, oh, it's transformative, it's a big deal, and they had this when Apple does those videos about how amazing their design is and how thoughtful it was and how innovative it would be. And I had a meme where it was one, and then the difference was add 5-pixel border radius, because that's all it looked like. It was just okay, it's the same but 5-pixel border radius. But I don't mind if they do it everywhere. It's just that right now we have it 4 different versions of the UI.
Yes.
But my gripes are not the same as others. It's just I'm making content, so.
Yeah, so there's that. And then the other thing, like I said, I don't know if they made announcements about this at reInvent, but the other thing I am excited about and getting ready to test out is for those of you who use CloudWatch, now you have the open source, open search, PPL and stuff like that. So I'm looking at how I can use that to make our CloudWatch logs, smarter. Because yeah, searching through those is a little sucky.
So explain that concept to me, Shala. What is it specifically bringing it to CloudWatch?
So what it's doing is for those who pipe a lot of their logs into OpenSearch,
Hmm.
like putting their logs into there, instead of it's like I almost want to like log into AWS and show you, but I don't have it up. But what it
I'm
is
actually in our
is
console right now. So
I might ask you to pop it up if you want to. But in CloudWatch, if you want to search through your logs and stuff, you kind of have to use like I don't even know what language it is. It's whatever language it uses, and it's not the best. But using like the open search stuff, it looks more like writing SQL and using piping. And you could like do stuff where you could do joins and stuff like that, so you can really get some really good data out of your logs to try to figure out what's going on with it. And so for me,
oh,
that's exciting because I'm in logs all day.
gotcha. Are those the field indexes, the log group indexes that are part of that? Gotcha.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
I'll have
And
to look into that.
yeah, and unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, projects that I'm working on, I'm kind of limited to where we're not using like a Grafana or a Prometheus, and so I'm just getting really good at CloudWatch and making it work. So yeah. And I mean, once you get used to it, it's actually not that bad. So those are some things that I'm excited about.
Nice.
Yeah, I always have
Alright.
good things. I always have good things to say about CloudWatch. I just feel that every year it's getting better and better. Though I might be biased because I know some of the engineers on that team, and I just
Mm.
I love those folks. But like I don't know, that one has really gotten very good. One thing we could touch on about S3 or the S3 tables announcements is everybody
Hmm.
was slating it as the Databricks killer. So apparently, by just having that single feature, that can really put Databricks in a hard spot because AWS now can do a lot of stuff from S3 tables.
Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. So I'm just
Mm-mm-mm.
like, ooh. So I'm literally testing that out. That's one of the things I'll be testing out tonight, as a matter of fact.
Oh
Did
yeah, nice.
did anybody take the Datadog slide this year? Or did you learn your lessons from prior years?
After I saw somebody get injured on that like 3 years ago, I was like, nah, I'm good. Hard pass. I'm too old for that shit.
So I mean, the first time I took the slide, I was going down, and they're like, "Put your hands up, put your hands up." And I'm like, "What?" I didn't, and I caught a bunch of air, and then I went boom, boom, and I had a big bruise on my butt. But
Oh,
it's okay. I just
Did
didn't
you-
sit down, which was fine.
The internet has taught me that you should never take a slide or get in a foam ball pit at a conference. You should never do those things because you will probably break something
yeah,
or
never do a trust
get a
fall.
very bad bruise. Yeah. So what's the use case for S3 tables that excites you, Shala?
Because we're always trying to like quickly look at data that's in there and like one quickly find stuff and then just make sense out of our data and tell a proper story. And we have to like a lot of times take it out of the S3 bucket, put it into these other things and do some hoodoo to make it tell us a story. But now we could just do it hopefully inside of S3. But that is what I'm going to be checking out tonight to see just how dangerous I can get with it and see if it makes sense for our team. And be a rock star. Be like, look what you could do now.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Nice. Okay. In the spirit of Shala being going off on this. Ooh, I gotta be careful. Favorite evening event What was
Mm.
everybody's favorite thing that they did as an could be an after party, could be a quiet dinner away from the strip. What was everybody's favorite thing from that perspective? Who wants
Blackjack.
to go first? Did you really?
Yeah, I took some money home and everything. It was great. There was a $50 table.
Did you leave up? I'm such a terrible gambler. I like if I
It
look
was
at
my
it.
first time playing.
Really? And you left up?
Yeah, so luckily, like the dealer was cool, but there were also like the people at the table. They were
Yeah.
like, and I have to give credit to the hubs because he's the one who wanted to play, but and pick the table and all that. Like the table spoke to him, but the people at the table, they gave us pointers and stuff like that because neither one of us had like played in real life. Like we played on the computer, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. I was just like, oh, this might be a new thing for me. Like,
Okay. If you feel comfortable sharing, how much did you? Well, actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna ask. I don't want to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I look at a blackjack table, the money will just jump out of my wallet and
Yeah.
go straight. I am the
Yeah.
world's worst gambler, and I actually Vegas is really bad for me because I don't like gambling, and I don't drink nearly as much as I used to. So like I'm
No.
like one drink at the end of the night and I'm done. So okay. My favorite thing was the hero event. So on Monday evenings, we have this get together, and all of the heroes get together, and we have drinks, and we vibe with each other. And these are friends that I haven't seen for at least half a year, because we also have the summit, the Hero Summit in Seattle in June. So I see most of them there, but I definitely see all of them in Vegas. And so that's my favorite thing, is catching up with all of my old friends. And then, sometimes we're lucky and Werner comes by and he says thank you, and he gives an award to the hero that wins, the yearly annual Now Go Build Award. So that's always a highlight of my trip. Andrew, what about you?
This year, a lot of the restaurants are being taken up by vendors, and so that's becoming a bit of an issue, because now when you want to go somewhere, there's all these private parties, right? So you're limited in terms of what you can utilize. And so one night we had a poor attempt at trying to find a place on the strip, but there was one place that nobody bought up called Noodle Asia, that's in the Venetian, and it's this big red building that I pass by every single year, and I was like, But I went there with the Aviatrix folks, Tim and Chris, and the line was fast. We got in there in 5 minutes. It was basically like a Chinese diner, and I got Dan noodles. I've never had those before. They were suggesting them to me. Have you ever had Dan noodles? They're so good.
I have. They're delicious.
However, they as good as they were, they're also a curse for me, because they numb your lips, but for me, an hour or two later, my whole body's like, but I still really enjoyed that place. And I think that for me, I'm going to keep going back to Noodle Asia, because I felt that I overlooked it multiple years. Yeah, I think that was my favorite time, was going to Noodle Asia with Tim and Chris.
Next time we're in Vegas together, drag me to Noodle Asia. Now, when you say, was it like crazy spicy and it numbed your lips, or when you're like,
it has a numbing, tingling effect. And just for me, it just, for whatever reason, probably because how fast I eat them, a sensitivity to the stomach, I got the full experience. So the stuff that hits your mouth was just a full body experience. So it's good or bad depending on the way you look at it. Depends on your outlook, but I don't know. I think I might forget that the negative effects, and I might go for the positive again, because I really liked Dan noodles. I think if I ever had to buy up a restaurant, just like all these other ones, I'd book out the Noodle Asia. But I think that they have so much foot traffic, they would never let a company do that.
So Carpe DMVPN, who I don't know who that is, says Noodle Asia was awesome. So apparently they were at reInvent as well. Haven't had such good noodles since I was in Shanghai. That place is legit. Nice. Okay.
That's Tim.
Oh,
it's Tim. Yeah, it's Tim.
Oh, it's Tim. Oh, nice. Hey, Tim. Amazing. All right. Well, we are coming up onto the end of our tiny little recap. There's going to be a ton of AWS user group event recaps where all of the DAs are going to be like sallying forth and dropping in and doing. They have a 300 and something page deck with all of the different services, announcements, and stuff. It's obscene. It is huge. It's ridiculous. I got a little sneak preview of it, and there's way too much information that anybody could ever say within the course of like a 1 or 2 hour user group. Ooh, what you got there, Andrew?
So this is my best swag that I got at the conference. This is from Lightning AI. It's you can see here, and it's their mascot, which is a little cloud with a little lightning. So you can only guess what they do, but did anyone else get a good swag? Like I just went for stuffies. Did anyone else get any? I usually don't go for swag, but for my kids, but anyone get a good swag haul? I got this hat.
I mean, I really did like the bomber jacket that we got.
That's a very cool, like trucker hat.
It is.
I said, "Give me your ugliest hat," and I took, and they were like, they had a sour face for me saying that, so I just pointed to this one and took it.
What does it say? What is
it's from the company called Unstructured. So I imagine that it is something for unstructured data, probably for Gen AI workloads with RAG or something. Or, I don't know.
And is that an egg, like a fried egg on?
Tamago? Tim, is that what it is? Tamago.
Tamago is egg. But
yeah, tamago. yucky tamago. But anyway, I got it also because I can't eat eggs. So I thought it'd be funny if I mean, I can eat duck eggs, but chicken eggs I can't eat. So I was like, I'm gonna get an egg because I think it's funny.
Why can you not eat eggs?
I got sensitivity to the proteins in the egg whites. So
interesting.
I mean, I can eat them. I probably shouldn't. It's more like, you know what I
mean? Yeah. Say no more. You don't have to.
Just like you can drink gasoline, but you shouldn't.
Probably ought not to.
It's best just to smell it, you know.
Yeah.
You don't need to drink it. You can just smell it and be like,
Oh yes, it's wonderful.
All right. On that note,
Chris's face.
Let's wrap this up.
So Chris, what are we looking forward to at the end of this year with the V Brown Bag, and what are we looking forward to at the beginning of 2025?
You know what, Damien? I'm so glad you asked that question. We have an amazing lineup. Actually, another highlight of reInvent was the fact that I was able to get a whole bunch of people stacked up for 2025. We've got how to build a blue sky bot with AWS Lambda and Terraform, the DevSec blueprint with Damian Burks, increasing confidence in your software supply chain with AWS hero Mike Fiedler. Ashley Lyon, one of the DevX people from AWS, is coming on. Private Gen AI for the enterprise with DevOps extraordinaire Kyler Middleton. And Aaron Hunter, another one of the AWS DAs, is coming on with how to prepare for the AWS AI ML certifications. That's currently what we have in the bucket for next year.
Yeah, and that darn near covers the first quarter of 2025. So you did good work, sir.
It is because I am shameless and I will approach anybody and say, hey, come on and talk about the cool thing that you do on our show.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So yeah, that's I'm very much looking forward to 2025. We have one more episode this year. It's a little bit out. It's going to be interesting. I'm not going to spoil it because I don't want to. It's something that I'm like. It's going to be weird. Interesting.
Not weird.
Educational. Educational. Yes. It's going to be very educational and very much outside of the normal technological talks that we have here on V Brown Bag. So.
Yeah. But I think it's very important. It's very important.
Deep T's on here too. Hey, Deep T. Yay. Sorry. Go ahead, Damien.
People in the chat. Oh, I was just saying it's a very important conversation that we're going to have. So yes, I'm looking forward to it as well.
I am as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Same.
All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful evening. Thank you for another fantastic year of V Brown Bag 2024. We've knocked it. I was looking at the folder of episodes for like all the videos that we've processed. we've had some amazing people on with some amazing topics, and you guys are wonderful. I love doing this with you both. Andrew's okay too.
I'm just here to crash the party, right? So you really shouldn't let me on these things. I'm just trying to derail them. That's all I'm trying to do.
Are you kidding me? No, you're amazing. And I'm looking forward to doing the Gen AI bootcamp with you in January. That's going to be super fun. So
I sort of forgot that I asked to be a part of that, Andrew, which is why I was looking at your document the other day. If you saw me on your shared document, because I was like, oh yeah, what did I sign up for?
Oh, you signed up for more than you think.
that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's quite all right. I would be very blessed to be a part of it. So thank you.
Once Andrew sucks you into his orbit of yeah, I'll help with that, then you're hooked. You're in orbit for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's okay. The feeling is mutual.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful rest. Well, we're gonna have one more episode, but happy holidays. I love all of you. This is my favorite thing to do on a Wednesday night. So have a great day. Have a great night.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye, team.
Bye.